Hello and welcome to an ICPU orchid update. Most of these are going to be Phalaenopsis. That is mostly what Ken has sent me, and I'm not complaining because I love my phals. The lighting is not the best, so I will try to get the plants as close to you as possible. Side note, I was looking at this, so it is currently 82 degrees in my house. I hope that's facing the right way. If not, it's 85 degrees Fahrenheit, but my humidity is 45%, which you would think I was running a humidifier. Guess what? I do have some small ones down here I have on intermittent, but they don't put out enough humidity in the air. It's just in this immediate area. But I just moved this from on the other side of the house, and I put it here so I could show you guys. I had it over there yesterday just to see, but moving it around because I only have the one now. Watering your plants on a regular basis can create humidity microclimate. So if you don't want to run a humidifier, but you want to keep the humidity around your plants, keep them watered. Note to self, take your own advice. Now, we have quite a few to get through. Like I said, most of these are going to be phals. I do have them kind of like all in front of me. I have a little side table as I did with the Hoyas. I think it was the Hoyas we did that, and to set them off to the side. I'm going to start with one that's technically not an ICPU, but I included it because it is the Dendrobium no ID that came with my Vanda sitting right here behind us that Ken threw in, and I don't know if he lost all of those from that order or if some of them made it, but I do know in a video a few months ago, probably about a year ago now, he did say that most of those orchids did not make it in that shipping. Like I said, it is a no ID Dendrobium, but hold on, let me move these ladies out of the way. It is, and if you want to see how all of these looked when I got them initially, I do have a playlist for the ICPUs that I'll link in the description below, so you can go check all that out after the video. You can go check them out now and then come back. However you want to do it, it's fine with me. But, so this initially, when it came to me, did have this growth here, and then it was finishing, so this one, this small one right here that you can kind of barely see that has the Velcro strap on it, it was starting to develop, and it didn't really develop into much there. However, then it grew this one right here, which, let me put my hand back here so you can kind of see where it's at. I'm trying to do this without breaking anything. So it grew to about right there, no big. But look at the latest growth. It is almost going to reach this one. I think it's going to surpass it because it still is doing lots and lots of leaf growth in there. Either way it goes, this one here, this latest growth is its strongest, and it has beautiful roots popping out all over the place. So this one is in a bark and moss. So it's small Orchiata bark, medium Orchiata bark, and moss, all of which you can get at the Orchid Supply Store. Don't forget to go to orchidsupply.store.com, use coupon code TRISH at checkout, get that 12% off on anything, one item, 100 items, doesn't matter. Go check it out. He has houseplants, he has orchids, obviously, Orchid Supply Store, orchid supplies, houseplant supplies, he's got pots, let's see which way is it, my little coconut hanging pot right there behind me with the Hoya Bella in it. I am loving those. I think I'm going to order some more of those, some of the larger ones. I have a spider plant. Oh, that one is also an ICPU rescue, but we just looked at that one in the Saturday stroll. I'll link the Saturday stroll below that we looked at that one. It is doing fantabulous, as is my other spider. They're both outer variegated spider plants. Love those things. They're easy to propagate. I'm getting sidetracked. Focus. Got it. I did bring coffee too, so because my voice is doing that in and out thing again. But back to my lady here. I am loving how this one is doing. It sits on a grow shelf right here beside me underneath some Barina lights. Before that, it was just kind of sitting, I think I had it on the bench, or maybe on when I had all the tables and everything set up before I got this plant shelf. Either way it goes, it has not been picky about light. it is just, as long as it's watered, it's fine. And yes, it is water day. So with this one, because it can handle a little bit of it can handle stress too, apparently. A little bit of drought. Oh, bless you, baby. Come here. Come here, bless you. Yeah, Loki's got the sneezies today. He's got the sneezies today. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Are you saying hello? Okay, get down. Get down. Get in your bed. But it can take a little bit of drought. So you can see that the moss is, it's dry. It's not hard dry. It's more of a damp dry. So once I see it do this, I do wait about another 2 to 3 days before I water, because there is moss in the middle as well, and I'm not trying to rot the roots. On the top, I do have a few of the small lava rocks that you can get also from Orchid Supply Store. Comes in a little small bag. They're so convenient. They do hold a little bit of humidity in that area. But now that one's out of the way, so technically that one's not an ICPU, but I did include it because when Ken sent it, he did leave the note basically saying, hey, threw in this dendrobium, it might not make it. So I count it as an ICPU, even though technically it didn't come in an ICPU box. And the other one that I want to grab real quick before we start with all these is the one that's on the mount, and it is a Roitaganaga. Here, I'll just show you the lay tag. So this is the mount it came on. And did I write when I did write it. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. So this one is almost a year in my care. And in that year, it's grown these 2 canes that are kind of strapped together. And I have been waiting probably about 3 months for new roots to come off of the latest growth. I'm not seeing those roots. I do want to get it off this mount and put it back on the mount more centered, and maybe take off like this old cane that's kind of off wanky, clean him up, and then just kind of put him back on this mount, because I like it on the mount. I just don't like him going that way. My need for things to be centered and balanced, this really messes with me. Anybody else like that? Like you have to have things, like if you have something big here, you have to have something kind of equivalent on the other side. I kind of like that balance. I guess that's the Libra in me. Oh, let's start with the one we don't have anymore. Let's just start with all the bad news first, and then we'll do the good news, right? You know how they say, do you want the good news first or the bad news first? Not giving you an option, just giving you the bad news first. So our DTPS Fuller Sunset is no moss. She is gone. She was one of our November ladies, and she was struggling. I mean, obviously they're ICPU, they're all on the struggle bus when they get here to the station. However, she did get hit with the mealybugs pretty hard. I kept up with it somewhat, but she was just too weak. She was just too weak, and I really stopped wanting to see her struggle. So we let her go live with the fairies, and she's probably living her best life now. The other one that is not going to make it is this lovely, and I'm holding on to it. I haven't quite decided to toss it yet, or have I? Yes, I have. I just decided because this leaf that I thought would kind of be its life source turned red, and she's gone. And if you look at the base of the leaf, you see that black? She probably had a little rot in there. And again, this one is one of the ones that was living under the shelf over against the wall behind us. Again, mealybugs hit it pretty hard. Tried to keep up with it. Again, she was just too weak. I mean, you can see she had some cute little roots in there. She just didn't make it. So we're gonna go ahead, and I've already notified the fairies that they're going to have some company, probably some permanent residents coming. So they're making room for these ladies. And then there's one more that I am, let me go get it. I didn't want to bring it up here because I'm going to show you why. So this one is the Ming Hyacinth Golden Lena, and I really, really wanted this one to survive. I really wanted to see the bloom on this one just from the name. I'm not going to do too much touching on this one, but this is what she looks like. And she kind of never looked good from the beginning and just never really took off. She started roots, stopped roots, started roots, stopped roots, never grew a new leaf. And as you can see right, where is it? Right there, she's got some unwanted guests on her, and she got hit pretty hard as well. So we're going to go ahead and let her go live her best life with her friends in Fairyland. And when I say Fairyland, I'm talking about Orchid Fairyland. And I think that's all of the ones that are truly, we have to let them go. So let's all have a moment of silence while I drink a cup of coffee. Not the cup, but, oh, I have one more that might be on that same bus. If not that bus, maybe the next one. That would be the ICPU Tongue Star number 2, and it was the pink nodosa type. Oop, this one here. I got this one earlier this year of 2024, I think, or late 2023. I'm doing them all together because some of the, I thought putting the stickers, let me see if I can find one of the stickers. Hold on so I can show you what I'm talking about. See, almost none of these have the stickers anymore. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I have these little, oh, here's one. I thought putting these little stickers on here with the date that I got them, the month and the year, was a good idea, and it was, until I realized that the way I water, it wasn't a good idea. So, who knows? Anyway, I wanted to see the blooms on this one too. I'm going to continue trying with this one because she does have one active root that I can see in this pot. And I purposely let these do, get my words together. I purposely have not watered these. I waited because I didn't want water dripping everywhere, especially with all the phalaenopsis. I didn't want water accidentally dripping into the crowns. But it does have this new growth on here, and it is trying. So we are going to continue caring for this one. It will stay in the intensive care plant unit, which we could technically call it the intensive care phalaenopsis unit because most of them are phals. But it, when Ken coined it, he coined it as intensive care plant unit. I know I don't always say that when I say ICPU. I just assume everybody knows what ICPU is. Well, now you know. So that one I'm worried about. So hopefully at the next update, we'll have good news with that one. And then let me make sure that's all of the stressor ones that I have. Yes. Okay. So let's talk about our 2 pots of the Dendrobium Burana Green Crutum. Okay, guys, I can't say the name. We already know this. There it is. I figured out what took all of the ones that used to be in here. This one used to be full of keikis. Guess what it was? Our unwanted guests, the ones that just decided to come and, what do they call it when people just move into your house and they stay? A hoarder. Became a hoarder. Just decided to come in and take over, and I do see a new growth. So I know I've been saying I'm going to send these out. Until I know these are free of freeloaders, I'm not sending these to anyone. I'm not going to give you my problem. So that is why I have not reached out or made an announcement, let me know, send me your address type thing, because I want to make sure they're 100% free of our friends, because I don't want to share those kind of friends with you guys. But this one here is finally really coming in, and if I remember, I'll take a picture, but you might actually be able to see that new growth. Right? Can I get it to focus in there maybe? There's a tiny new growth on this one. I'm pretty sure you cannot see that on the camera because I can barely see it looking at it, but then I'm half blind, glasses. And then this is the other one. Now this one's not ever had a problem. This one is the one that just kind of started with, I think, 1 in there and now has 2. It has had a couple of our friends on it, but not where it kind of took it down. But there's something else wrong with it. You see how looks like it's got variegation, and it's not supposed to. So I'm not sure what that is. I have kind of increased the CalMag on it just to kind of see if maybe it's just deficient in that. But again, I'm not sending those until I'm 100% sure that they are free of Les Milices. All right, now that we have some space where we can move around, I'm going to talk about this Acatlea. So this is the RLC Mori Akatsuka Kira. There we go. That one. So this is, I know this is one of the March ones, and it came with all three of these that you can see right here. And in the last few weeks has decided to give us a new growth. And let me very carefully move some of the bark out of the way. We have new roots, if you can see them down there. Let's see. I don't want to take too much away, but see the white down there? Those are, well, Patricia, get it together. I don't know how cameras work, and I don't know how orchids work. There it is. See where the tag is pointing, that white right there? That is a brand new root, and I am happy to report that this one starts roots very shortly after it starts the growth, because those roots are coming from that new growth. So this one, I'm confident is going to be okay if I don't do something to mess it up. And it does have the moss kind of right here at the top of the pot to kind of encourage those roots to continue going down and not aerial. Love aerial roots, but not on struggling orchids. And let's just chat about this one here. So this is one of our November orchids as well. She did nothing forever, and then she did spike for us. I think this is the one that did the spiking. She also got pretty hard hit with our friends, but she has recovered and is now working on a new leaf. That I think is her first new leaf. If not, she did grow this one, but I do know that she came with these three, and I did take I think maybe one or two leaves off of her, and some of these came with spikes. I did cut the spikes, or I left the spikes on for energy. But yeah, she's growing lovely roots in the pot. She's got a couple little aerial roots, but this one is, again, it's moss that's chopped up with medium and small Orchiata bark and perlite. I don't think I put charcoal in all of these. Most of them have the charcoal, but I don't think all of them do. Here is one of our September ICPUs, and she did so well for so long, and then she just kind of was like, nope, don't want to. She did spike, cute little blooms, and she does have a gorgeous root going down in there, and then she does have one right here. Again, moss, perlite bark is what she is in. She did grow this leaf here and is currently working on this one, so she's fine. The Phalaenopsis, I'm not going to say confident, but I'm more comfortable, I think I should say, rehabbing those, because I've been dealing with Phalaenopsis since I was 15, 16, and I'm a little older than that now. And then we have a big girl back here. We'll go ahead and grab her. Again, one of our November ladies. And this one, I probably should take her out, clean her up, but I don't want to mess with her. But it just really bugs me every time I look at this pot and I see that old root right there. And then this one's an old tired root here. And she did grow this leaf right here, and she has bloomed since we had her, and then she's working on that new leaf right here. So she's got root growth, and she's got this lovely aerial root coming out right here. And if I wanted to, now would be the time to kind of put that into the pot. I'm still thinking about it. I might do that, but I'm not 100% sure. I may just wait it out and not stress her more, because she is basically recovered now. Then we have this big girl here, and I think she is from September. She's one of the original ICPUs. She's in this giant pot. One, because she's a giant girl. Two, her roots were pretty extensive when I cleaned them up, but this is still her old root system right here. And earlier when I was looking them over, I do see she's got some new roots coming down into the pot. So this I probably water every probably 10 days, because it does stay damp fairly long, but she is in a very airy spot. She has grown this leaf and this leaf since being in my care, And look what I just found on her. You see it? Yep. So I'm going to have to move her all by herself so I can take care of that when we're done. And what I normally do if I just see the one or two is I'll just take a Q-tip or my paintbrush with some alcohol and wipe it off. If I do see quite a few, then I will take some insecticidal soap. I use the Safer brand insecticidal soap, the concentrate. Mix up a little bit and then just wipe the whole plant down really well. Pretty much soak it down, and then I put it in front of a fan just in case I've dripped water. That is my process. Then we have this lady here. She's finally growing a leaf, guys. So this is one of the March ones. This is the one that had the long, what's that thing called? Spike on her. And she is finally putting out a new leaf, which with that new leaf, she will start creating some roots. I hope, because if you look, she's got that hard sheathing around there. I've taken most of it off so it's not as thick. But I don't want to do too much because I don't want to do any damage into the tissue of that and cause rot. But yeah, she is finally doing something. She is now sitting on the bench because I have moved all of my zygos onto the shelf, and I'm looking at it right now and I just love it. Oh my God, I love the way it looks. Like, I really do. I'm obsessed with it. Just looks great to me. And then let's talk about my other Roy Taganaga. Now this one has recently been watered, but I don't have any fouls right here and it's not dripping. But this was also on a mount, like the other one that we just saw, but it started roots after this growth. Which growth? This growth right here. Was it this growth? Yes. So it started roots after this growth, so it got put into a moss, bark, and perlite mixture, and then it grew this one right here, this ginormous growth that you see right here, with a bud that may or may not bloom. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it does, and I am going to take some Velcro and I'm going to kind of lay this leaf like this because I don't want it growing like that. I don't like the way that looks. Again, it's all about the aesthetics, and I know in nature nobody's there to fix those leaves and it grows how it wants. But you know what? Although my living room might look like nature, the outside, I can control it. Sorry. I know some of you just say, oh, just let them grow the way they want. And for the most part, I do. But I do try to control the growth because, again, I'm growing in my living room. I don't have the freedoms to let them do what they want. I wish I did. I wish I had a greenhouse where I could just have them all in there. I would probably live in there, though, and then my family would never see me. That is a thought, though. Okay, sorry. Let me get a glass of water. This is coffee, guys. Look, it's coffee. Regardless of what I'm calling this, it's coffee. It has been a long, long day already. And I apparently have no idea what I'm doing. Did I talk about that one, though? I did. I did not talk about this one. This is one that I've had for a year. I've had it since May of 2023. And, yeah, we have a root coming down here. We've got a few roots there. And we have grown this leaf right here. That is all that we have done in a year. That's it. It is, there's no moss in here. Oh, I see a new root. Look at me. She's like, let me lie. Let me make you a liar. So she's got a new root coming. So with that new root, she is probably going to start a new leaf. And I didn't realize that or think to look for that or notice that, however you want to say that, until Sharon from, is it Rare Roots of Joy? She made a comment on one of my videos that she notices root growth sometimes prior to the leaf growth. And since she mentioned that, I've been like watching that. So now that we have a root growth, I'm going to look for leaf growth because I have noticed that in quite a few of those phals, just so you know. And then this is another March one. This is the one that just had the one leaf by the time I cleaned it up, and she's off center because of the way those roots were. They were just too stiff. I didn't want to chance it. But look what we have. Wait a minute. No, this, okay. I thought we had friends. you look underneath here. But we do have a new leaf coming here. So again, with that leaf, hopefully we can get some roots coming. Just double checking here, because she also got hit pretty hard. She was under the shelf down there against the wall with the Barina light, and that whole shelf, for some reason, they all were just like, party over here, and everybody was like, we're coming. So I had to really treat those pretty aggressively. And this one does have, now I'm going to show you, look at all of Les Gorgeous roots. Now this is this one of the November? Yes, this is one of the November ones. In November, I got a box that had like 20-something ICPUs in it. And most of them are still around. Now, I'm not going to say most. Probably half of them are around, and the other half just didn't make it. They just did not make it. But I'm double checking now that I saw that one to make sure it didn't jump over. This is the only leaf that it has grown for me since November, but she is putting in quite the roots. Now this one does have a little bit of moss, not a lot. It's got lots of large perlite with small and medium Orchiata bark. So that one is doing fine. It goes right here, and it sits on the table. It doesn't really have any light on it. It just gets the natural light from here and then the residual from the grow lights around it. We have this lady here, another, I'm pretty sure that this is another November one. So it has lost a leaf or two, but it has grown this leaf and this leaf since November. We do have new roots in the pot. And as you can see, very little moss with medium and large Orchiata bark. And again, when I see this really bugs me. I just want to freshen it up, but I'm not going to mess with her. I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. Aren't we all? This one here, well, it's trying. It's growing leaves. And this one here is not an Orchid Supply Store ICPU. This is the work orchid that is, I don't know, it makes roots and then it doesn't. And then it makes roots and then it just stops. So we're just, I don't know. This is Sunshine. I have a Sunshine. This one is also a Sunshine. I'm not real attached to this one, so I might give this one away. I might give that one away. I've gotten a little harsher with myself as far as, do you need to keep that one? Do you want to keep that one? How attached are you to it? And so I have whittled down some of the plants that they're just not worth it. None of the ICPUs. All of the ICPUs are worth it. It's like a challenge to get them recovered and going. But I'm talking about my personal ones. It's like, do I really want to keep that one? And I just noticed I left an ICPU. Hold on. So this one is the Oxspot Queen. Oxspot Queen. There we go. And this, so if you take this leaf off, let's see, when did I get her? Oh, November, not November, but this is a September of last year. If you take this leaf off, this is what she came with. Those 3 leaves. And that's what we've gotten since September. And we do have, you know, some roots in the pot. We've got some, these are all aerial that I just kind of put into the pot, and that's where most of the roots that you see in the pot are coming from. So I don't know if I just need to go in and figure out what's going on with her, or she might need more light, because where she sits underneath the Phalaenopsis table, and she does get light from the east-facing window, but she may not be getting enough light. So perhaps I might put her in a little bit more light and see if that doesn't kickstart her into some growth. Yes, eventually I'd like to see her in bloom. However, I need her to grow some roots first and vegetation. And she's got roots, because she does, like, I let her completely dry out because I don't know how many roots are in there. I don't want to keep her soggy. So when she does get a little soft and I water her, it does thicken up. She does harden off. So She's got roots, she just doesn't have any more leaves. And then this is another September one here. And other than this leaf, is it this leaf? Did she grow a leaf or did she just grow roots? No, I think she grew a leaf. Yeah, I think it is this leaf. However, she does have roots in, but I do notice that she's got some roots that are, the tips are greening back up. So fingers crossed, we should see some leaves on that one. You know what, when I'm done, let me put them off to the side. I'm gonna mark them with some other color sticker, and then we're gonna look at these again, maybe during a Saturday stroll, or maybe I'll do a quick update, and we're gonna see when those leaves come in. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do with that. I think that'll be a good little experiment. And then there's this one. This is MS Pink Brook. And this is another May ICPU. This one has not grown a leaf. It has grown one root that, where the moss is, I don't know if you can, let me see the root, one root, and that's why I put the moss there to encourage the root to go down into the pot. And that's it, that's all. Maybe more water. I'm pretty sure that's what's wrong with this one, because when I was watering it like I should, it was actually, that's when those roots started really growing. And then we have this lovely lady here. This is the Long Pride Sunkissed MP1729. Gotta love it when they have numbers. But she sits underneath the plant shelf right here behind me. This one right here. She sits kind of on the bottom, and she gets the east-facing light, and that's kind of why she's kind of growing the way she's growing. But she's got quite the roots. She's got a little dead root right there, but she's got quite the roots, and she came with the roots. She came with good roots, and she is starting a lovely new root there. But she has grown, so she grew this little leaf here, and then she grew this one, and she's finishing this one. So I'm not complaining about this one. I think this one eventually will bloom for us. I'm going to say she's recovered. That's we'll call her done as far as struggling. I don't think she's struggling anymore. I think now I just need to maintain her care so that eventually she can get stronger and stronger, and let us see what she looks like. And then this is my Cattleya that I got, I think this one was May. I have a question mark OSS for Orchid Supply Store, and then I have 523 written on it, so I don't know. But it's been in this setup since March of this year, and I'll tell you what that is in a minute, but I'm going to let you read what this one is. I'm going to give you a minute, because it is kind of a long name. Can you see? Is it in focus? There we go. This was its growth for 2023, and then this is its current growth for 2024. And look at all of the roots in this pot. So the only thing I have in here is medium Orchiata bark with medium perlite and some charcoal. That's it. No moss, no nada. Yep, she's just doing pretty good. She's doing pretty good. Pretty proud of that one. And I don't have her in a decorative pot. I just have her sitting on a tray because I don't want to rot her. I don't want to rot her. I'm really, really curious to see why she deserves such a long name. Like, I want to see these blooms. And just for the record, I know I can go online, I can go look them up, that whole thing. But it kind of takes the fun out of it for me to kind of work towards it. One of my friends did say, well, if you look at the blooms though, and you see the blooms and you're like, oh my God, I really have to see those blooms, wouldn't you work harder towards that? Probably not. Probably not. Because then what if I look at the bloom and I don't like it? Then what? I'm not going to take care of that orchid very well, am I? Because I don't want to see the bloom. Just saying. Anyone else have like weird thoughts like that going on in their head at times? This is a November ICPU. And really, like, she was an ICPU, but she really hasn't struggled per se. It took her a few weeks to kind of get going, but she's got Let's see, does she have root? Yeah, she's got like a root coming out of the bottom there. She's got all kinds of root growth in the pot itself. She's grown this leaf and is working on a second leaf. This is the only one that, as far as I can remember, I think it might have had 1 or 2 mealybugs on it, but not that many, not that many. And I think it was the November order that Ken did say that may have some mealies on it. So he did treat before he sent them to me, and then I treated them really well before and then kind of watched them. And that's why most of them were sitting on the table and away from the rest of the collection. So I don't think that's where my problem came from, because I got these in November and my mealybug problem, as far as the infestation, didn't start until earlier in, like, I think it was like, was it March? Was it March that I had that freak out? So I don't think it was from that, just to put that clear so nobody says, oh, well, I know where your mealybugs came from. No, because I would have had the problem by December, okay, if that were the case. So I just want to clear that up. But yeah, she really, I mean, she's ICPU because I received her as an ICPU, but I don't think she's ICPU. I think she's just taking a moment to acclimate and kind of get going. But she sits on the top shelf of the big grow shelf that I have, sitting with some Bayerinas. Let me make sure I talked about all of these over here. And if you do hear some cooking in the background, some sizzling and some pots and pans, my daughter is meal prepping for next week. We only work 3 days next week. I'm so excited. We get a 4-day weekend for the 4th of July here in the United States. I'm excited for the 4-day holiday. I'm not excited for the fireworks because my 2 small puppers don't like loud noises, and now that Winter is a little bit older and a little more sensitive to noises, it's starting to bother her too. It used to never bother her. Last night we had the windows open. You know, if you live in the United States, you know people start popping those fireworks June 1st. And they had a bunch of, I think they're the Roman candles, the one that make the really big noise. And that used to never bother Winter. We were taking her outside. By we, I mean me. Taking her outside, and one of those went off, and she just turned around and was like, nope, not doing it. Not doing it. So she's a little more sensitive now, so I'm not looking forward to that at all. Here is one of our September ICPUs. Now this one did get watered last night, but she has that lovely root right there, and that is really the only root that I can physically see with my eyeballs. But she literally just had these 2 leaves, well, since September, and then recently she has put out a nice new leaf. So with that nice new leaf, we in theory should get some nice new roots. She currently is now sitting on the bench as well. She was sitting on the shelf, but now she's sitting on the bench. And my daughter is dancing and trying to make me laugh, and it almost worked. I ought to turn the camera around and show you guys her little silly dance, but I'm not. So this is either from November or September, because I did use the green tags for both. I should have used different colors. You know, if I could go back in time, I would tell my old self, hey, use different colors for each one of the sets of ICPU so you know what month you got them in. You know, that's for future self. But for current self, this is what we have. I did cut this leaf here. It was not looking good. And then she did grow this version of a leaf, okay? I don't even call this a leaf. This is like a version of a leaf. And then this is the latest leaf that she is growing. She does have quite the root activity on her, so I'm not mad at her for that. She lives on the top shelf. But again, when I see that, I just want to get in there, give her a cleanup. But her roots that she does have, even though they look old and tired, they are still functioning and providing her what she needs. So I think I've said it before, and I'll probably say it again, but I'm going to say it right now. Even if your roots look like this, as long as when you water, your orchid is firming back up and getting hydrated, those roots are still working. Do not think those are dead just because I mean, if you just look at them and didn't know, you'd think those were not viable, but they are still viable. They just don't look pretty. They just don't look pretty. So you put it in a pretty pot and you don't have to look at them. I believe that's all of those. Let me know what orchids you're struggling with, what orchids you're recovering if you have some. And then don't forget to go to Orchid Supply Store. Get your 12% off using coupon code TRISH.